Detectives aren't supposed to get bloody knuckles. But I've done a lot of things I wasn't supposed to do. I lived through it all. Beatdowns, the backstabbing, disrespect most people wouldn't see in 10 lifetimes. I never lost a fight. Until now.
In a year crammed with next-gen sequels, remakes, and reimaginings, I can't help but root for Murdered Soul Suspect. A completely original and great-looking current-gen experience from Quantum Conundrum developer Airtight Games, Soul Suspect looks to put a paranormal spin on the crime-solving genre. Like all good noir, Soul Suspect begins with a death. Your own, actually. You play as Ronanu O'Konnor, an unlucky detective who finds himself on the losing end of a lethal fight with a hooded stranger. Cut to next scene, and Ronan's thrown out a window and found dead on the streets of Salem. Lucky for him, death is only the beginning in Soul Suspect. Ronan awakes as a ghost in the afterlife with the sole purpose of solving the mystery of his own death. Being nothing more than a specter, you can't physically interact with the world, so you'll have to get creative in your search for clues. Ronan can inhabit the bodies of living humans and briefly use them to glean information, viewing the world through their eyes, eavesdropping on conversations, and subtly planting hints that might jog someone's memory are all necessary in building an accurate recreation of a crime scene.
I gotta see if they found any leads that I don't already know about.
Wandering through the environment and experimenting with various people and objects encourage a playful sort of creativity that harkens back to the criminally underrated game Ghost Trick. Once you've gathered a handful of clues, you'll have to mentally piece them all together in Ronan's head by creating a flow of events from a pool of words. Using this array of nouns and verbs brings back wonderful memories of early LucasArts adventure games like Maniac Mansion. Soul Suspect's emphasis on careful observation brings to mind shades of LA Noire, but where Soul Suspect seems to trump Rockstar's take on the crime-solving genre is in its trimming of all the excess fat. You won't find yourself driving across lifeless cities or engaging in seemingly mandatory shootouts. Soul Suspect is all about solving mysteries, and from what we've seen so far, Airtight is absolutely on the right path. While the dialogue occasionally drifted into the realm of melodrama, I couldn't help but latch on to the stories that Airtight had to tell.
Don't worry, brother. Remember, ghosts never die.
Crooked cops, grieving family members, and frightened witnesses all have interesting tales to tell that can be gleaned through careful observation and a bit of ethereal voyeurism. The town of Salem is absolutely packed with memories and history. But Ronan's not the only spirit wandering through the world. Other lost souls haunt the city, and their own unresolved business act as the game's side quests. In the demo I saw, the player could roam the halls and pass through the walls of an apartment building, helping out the various tenants, both living and dead, cope with their issues. Or I could simply make a beeline for the top floor and continue with the main story. It's great to see that these bits of narrative are completely optional. There are also more malevolent beings that stalk the town in search of new victims. Think of the Dementors from Harry Potter, and you'll get a good feel for the kinds of ghouls that Ronan will have to face along his journey through the afterlife. Like the best demos, Murdered Soul Suspect left me craving answers. Why does Ronan have a chance to avenge his own death? What's the deal with his enigmatic murderer? And most importantly, will there be an achievement linked to sensual pottery? For much more on Murdered Soul Suspect, stay right here on IGN.
I said, get back here!